Vernon, South Park, and Hollis. What do all of these streets have in common? Bikes, bikes, and more bikes. There's so much amazing bike news happening in Halifax right now that we are officially declaring 2019 the summer of bikes. Wait, what do you mean we don't have the authority to do that? Well, I've already said it now. No, I didn't get your email. Then who does have the authority? Alright, I've been told we don't actually have the authority to declare this the summer of bikes, but if you've seen or heard any of the amazing bike-related news happening in the city right now, you realize that this is a really exciting summer for our cycling community. The most noticeable project is probably this one, South Park, which was in desperate need of an upgrade, and boy is it ever getting one.
The 2-year project will create a fully protected bike lane through the use of barriers and, where possible, parked cars. And thanks to an added extension off the original bike lane, South Park will also become Halifax's longest protected bike lane. The most exciting part about this project is something that has never been tried in Halifax: shared cycle track stops. They're kind of like a combination of a stoplet and a cycling speed bump. At transit stops, the bike lane is being raised, creating a platform for buses to pull up to for loading and unloading. When a bus is at the stop, cyclists must yield to transit riders. This will be clearly marked by signage and further encouraged by cyclists being slowed down when they ascend the platform ramps. The benefit is that when no buses are at the stop, the bike lane works as normal, without forcing cyclists to merge in and out of traffic. The first part of the project will be completed this year, with the second part taking place in 2020 after current construction encroachments are removed. But South Park Street isn't the only project happening this summer. Additional work has already been done to further improve the Vernon Seymour Local Street Bikeway. This includes signage for traffic calming and diversion measures. But just like South Park Street, the final phase of the project is waiting for the removal of construction encroachment next summer. Finally, we can't forget about the upcoming upgrade to the Hollis Street bike lane, with construction scheduled to start in either late summer or the fall. The project will include moving the bike lane to the right side of the street and adding barriers to create a protected bike lane. Fun fact, it was initially placed on the left side to minimize the impact on accessible parking spaces, bus stops, and changes to daytime parking and loading. But in the process, it also created some unintended problems for cyclists. Drivers don't expect cyclists to be on the left side of the road, making it dangerous for cyclists to merge with traffic to make right turns, and increasing the chance of left hooks from turning vehicles. These changes will align Hollis Street with other bike lanes in Halifax's AAA bike network, making it easier for cyclists and drivers to understand the rules of the road. And that's really important, because Hollis Street is only the first part of an entire revamp of the downtown bike network.
So why is Halifax seeing such a massive boom in its cycling infrastructure? Well, it mostly comes down to the amazing contribution made by our federal, provincial, and municipal governments announced this summer.
In total, $25 million has been allocated to accelerating the construction of Halifax's AAA cycling network over the next 3 years. The money is going to be used to complete the downtown bikeway network, create local street bikeways in the north ends of both Halifax and Dartmouth, build the extension onto the South Park Street bike lane, creating connections through Clayton Park and Fairview, and finally funding the massive project of creating the Bridge Bike Connector. In total, this funding will help build 30 kilometers of bike infrastructure and increase our protected bike lanes from 2.2 kilometers to 16 kilometers, with large parts of this network being constructed or in the process of being constructed as early as 2022.
All in all, this seems like our best summer yet for our cycling community. We're seeing our politicians take massive steps to make our communities safer, healthier, and more environmentally conscious. Sure, there's a lot of work left to do, but this is a big step in making Halifax a world-class city. Honestly, I can't emphasize this better than by borrowing the words from our own mayor.
Is it expensive? Yeah, it's expensive. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. And as much as anything else, it puts a line in the sand and says, come hell or high water, this city will be a cycling city. And that is really important.
You have to look no further than any given bike rack in the city that is jammed to capacity with bikes of every shape and every color to see that more and more Haligonians are choosing bicycles as their primary mode of transport. And yeah, this is the right crowd. This is an enthusiastic crowd here this morning. And a lot of bikes. And I see a lot of helmets out there. It's good.